handsome man. It was just that little Nai Nai was miserable, immediately being fished over and ravaged by Xia Shuriyao. The little guy's big eyes were starry as he reached out to look at his dad, who was sitting upright in the distance, not at all expecting his dad to turn around and sell himself to his mom. Gu Xingyi watched his eyes and nose. In order to be able to make Xia Shuriyao smooth, in order for this family to prosper, he could only let his little baby condescend a little. The family hangs out for a while. Little Nai Nai eventually commiserated and took it all by herself, building blocks there alone. Gu Xingyi rubbed her little head before he stood up and took out a paper file bag from his suitcase, placing it in front of Xia Shuriyao. Successful completion of the mission. Look at this, it's a contract from Sound and Sea Entertainment. Xia Shuriyao glanced at Gu Xingyi, who looked serious, her eyelashes blinking slightly, signaling the unrest within her. He was out there for just a couple days and literally got himself a contract. Xia Shuriyao lowered her head, picked up the file bag and unwrapped it, flipping through the contracts inside, and all the way to the end, her hands began to tremble slightly. It was a contract she had never even dreamed of having, top-notch treatment, the perfect level of freedom. Even if she had never retired before and continued to sing until now, she would never have had such a contract. Xia Shuriyao didn't know how he did it, just a few days, what he went through. How much did he pay? To be able to exchange for such a signing contract that one wouldn't even dare to think about. Xia Shuriyao raised her head and looked at Gu Xingyi in a daze, tears in her eyes, pursing her small lips, just staring at him. He still had a gentle smile on his face, as if it was all so cloudy. Only after a long time did Xia Shuriyao softly speak. Gu Xingyi, actually, I'm fine without singing. The voice was small, but it was very firm without any hesitation. Gu Xingyi then frowned slightly in disbelief. Clearly she liked to sing, clearly she wanted to sing. Now what did this mean? Somewhat inexplicably, he couldn't understand what was going on in this woman's head. Why? Haven't you always wanted to sing? Why are you backing out now that the opportunity is there? Gu Xingyi's tone intensified a bit. This was the first time he had come here to talk to her like this. After a lifetime of being a single dog, he naturally wouldn't understand. Xia Shuriyao's heart was in turmoil at this time. She suddenly felt that it was quite good to live like this. When she did go to sing, she was afraid of the changes that would come afterward, afraid that she would never live again, never to be like she was now. Xia Shuriyao's small mouth pursed gently again, looking straight at Gu Xingyi, teardrops slipping down one by one. After a few moments, she said quietly, I'm afraid of the bad changes that will come later. This was the first time Xia Shuriyao had directly told Gu Xingyi about the fear in her heart. Gu Xingyi froze for a moment, then his slightly furrowed brows instantly stretched, and he suddenly smiled a warm smile. He picked up a tissue and raised his hand to gently wipe the tear stains that Xia Shuriyao had slid down her face. Xia Shuriyao. What do you take me for? I'm telling you very seriously, feel free to go. No matter what happens. None of this will change. I'm staying home with the kids. After all, I'm ready to be a full-time baby daddy. Xia Shuriyao completely didn't expect Gu Xingyi to say this, and even went straight to her hands to dry her tears. Xia Shuriyao, who had not encountered this level of intimacy for too long, instantly lowered her head shyly, her originally slightly red face instantly flushed, not even having the time to think about her previous chaotic thoughts. Gu Xingyi thought that she was still afraid of all this mess. He knew that now, and knew that Xia Shuriyao should be afraid of making changes. After all, people who have been at home for too long without ever going out will always have that mentality. So he spoke again, I mean it. Just leave Nana-chan to me, I'll take good care of her. And as you can see, you have a lot of freedom with that contract. You can come back whenever you want. Don't worry about home, just take care of yourself out there. Gu Xingyi spoke, but Xia Shuriyao didn't listen to a single word. Her head was still filled with the scene where Gu Xingyi had just gently caressed her face. Little Nana on the couch had long since begun to sneak a peek at her mom and dad's interactions. She could clearly see that the corners of her mouth had curled up slightly on her mom's face with her head down. Dad, on the other hand, was still there, nagging all the time. The little one had no idea what was going on, only that her mom should be happy right now. And Dad's still worried about Mom. So she jumped onto Gu Xingyi's lap, tilted her face up, blinked her big eyes, and said out of the blue, Daddy! Nana is going to sleep with Mommy and Daddy tonight. When these words came out, Gu Xingyi was instantly petrified, and Xia Shiyao even looked up with stunned eyes at the little one, a heart that was about to jump out of her heart with a poof. Okay. Daddy. Seeing that Gu Xingyi didn't agree, little Nai Nai turned on her pampering technique and rolled on Gu Xingyi's lap. Gu Xingyi gulped, turning his head to look at Xia Shiyao, who had turned red even on her neck, his eyes dodging. You'll have to ask your mom if she agrees. How was this going to make herself answer? Xia Shiyao was so shy that she collapsed a little. She stood up in a panic and walked towards the bathroom. I'm sleepy, so I'm going to go wash up and get ready for bed. Xia Shiyao hurriedly escaped, leaving Gu Xingyi and little Nai Nai wide-eyed in the living room. Gu Xingyi had already numbed his claws and was completely at a loss as to what to do, but it was little Nai Nai, who jumped up from Gu Xingyi's lap and hugged his neck. Mom said just as soon as Dad's ready. Xia Shiyao had said that? Gu Xingyi turned his head to look at the closed bathroom door, vaguely able to hear the sound of washing inside. That's okay, right? Gu Xingyi took a deep breath of the milky scent of the little one and braced himself. He was totally doing it for little Nai Nai. Not because of anything else. After a while, Xia Shiyao came out of the bathroom and went back to the bedroom without moving, and didn't even glance over to the sofa when she passed by the living room. Only then did Gu Xingyi stand up with little Nai Nai in his arms, and came to the bathroom to help the little one finish washing up, and then briefly washed himself before coming out with the little one in his arms. It wasn't until this moment that his heart began to race. The short distance from the living room to the master bedroom seemed like a long time to him, until his feet were completely in the bedroom and his head had gone blank. A light, fresh scent wafted through the room, nice and inviting. Gu Xingyi had never experienced this in his 2 lifetimes. He wanted to ask for help at the moment. What should he do? What should he do? Xia Shiyao had already burrowed into the quilt as if she was asleep, facing in sideways, unable to see her exact appearance at this time. Only her crystal red earlobe showed her current state. Gu Xingyi closed the door gently behind her. The sound of the door closing caused Xia Shiyao's body to shake a small amount, but she still didn't get up. Gu Xingyi has now completely swung for the fences. It's all like this, it's useless to be nervous, just lie flat. Thinking this way, his mind did lighten up a lot. Placing little Nene in the center, he sat down on the other side of the bed and wrapped his arms around little Nene and began to read her a bedtime story. Today Daddy told Nina the story of Snow White. Once upon a time, there was a lovely little princess like Nai Nai, whose skin was as white as snow and as rosy as a red apple, and whose hair was as black and shiny as the night sky, so her mommy named her Snow White. Gu Xingyi's gentle words echoed in the room. Xia Shiyao's eyelashes moved slightly, and that violent heart slowly calmed down as the story unfolded. In the end, she actually fell asleep without realizing it, and like her, little Nai Nai also slowly fell asleep during Gu Xingyi's story. The night was already deep, and Gu Xingyi saw their breathing slowly calming down before he turned off the light and got under the covers to lie down. The pillows were all filled with that familiar light fragrance, and Gu Xingyi knew for the first time that the original girl's pillow was so fragrant. Cuddling the little Nai Nai beside him, along with the scent, Gu Xingyi also quickly fell asleep. There was no talk all night. The next day, Gu Xingyi's biological clock was still on time, and he woke up at 6 a.m. Just after dawn. He subconsciously wrapped his arms around the soft, delicate body in his arms and then froze violently. When did little Nana get so big? Gulp. Gu Xingyi gulped, his eyes looking towards the quilt, where was little Nai Nai's figure in his arms. It wasn't the little guy, but Xia Shiyao. Gu Xingyi was completely dumbfounded. When did it happen? How did she drill her own arms? The faint fragrance lingered on the tip of his nose. The delicate body in his arms was soft and warm, and Gu Xingyi's Dao heart instantly shattered. Gu Xingyi unconsciously leaned down until he was so close to Xia Shiyao's pretty face that he could feel her warm breath hitting his face, scratchy. With only a stone's throw between them, he could make out the flush beneath her delicate skin. Gu Xingyi just stopped, doing a drastic mental struggle. Then he saw her long eyelashes blink gently. Frightened, Gu Xingyi hurriedly sat up straight again, quietly drew back the arm she had pressed under her neck, arched his back, carefully got off the bed, and scurried out of the bedroom. Gu Xingyi, who had reached the bathroom to wash up, was filled with frustration. This early in the morning. It's too torturous too. What Gu Xingyi didn't know was that he had just walked out of the bedroom, and Xia Shiyao on the bed actually opened her nice almond eyes and let out a slight sigh of relief. She covered her burning face and shrank back under the covers, looking like she couldn't be seen. Just as Gu Xingyi sat up, Xia Shiyao woke up. She didn't know when she ran into Gu Xingyi's arms and even used his arm as a pillow. It was just humiliating. It wasn't until she noticed Gu Xingyi's breath hitting her face that she felt some panic in her heart. What does he want? Trying to kiss himself on the sly? What should I do? Xia Shiyao panicked to death at that time and did not dare to wake up, can only continue to pretend to be asleep. Fortunately Gu Xingyi stopped in time, otherwise she really do not know how to face him. It was only when Gu Xingyi really drew away that she vaguely felt a little lost again. Xia Shiyao didn't know if she was ready or not, she only knew that her heart was in turmoil. After a long time, Xia Shiyao, who had burrowed into the quilt, exhaled deeply, let nature take its course. After nesting until 8 o'clock, Xia Shiyao heard the commotion of the door opening again outside before she climbed up from the bed and cleaned up and walked out of the room. Gu Xingyi had already arrived in the kitchen to prepare for cooking, and when he saw Xia Shiyao come out, his expression was a bit unnatural as he greeted her. Morning. Xia Shiyao's expression was also a bit unnatural, she didn't even raise her eyes to look at him, she just gave a soft response. Morning. After that, he went into the bathroom to wash up. Gu Xingyi didn't think much about it and continued to turn around to make breakfast, not realizing that Xia Shiyao quickly washed up and came straight to the kitchen. I'll help you along. With a natural expression, Xia Shiyao skillfully took the basin in Gu Xingyi's hands and helped Gu Xingyi pan the rice. Gu Xingyi was only slightly stunned for a moment, and quickly reacted, readily accepting the kindness and turning sideways to start washing the vegetables. The two were in tune, like a couple who had lived together for years. The small kitchen was extraordinarily cozy at the moment. 20 minutes later, the golden millet porridge with 2 plates of small dishes came out smoothly. Gu Xingyi took off his apron, washed his hands, and naturally walked into the master bedroom, waking up the little Nai, who had already slept in the corner of the bed, to fish for it. The family had a pleasant breakfast. After the meal, Xia Shiyao saw a very beautiful hairstyle that was perfect for little Nai, and it just so happened that the little guy's hair had grown quite a bit lately, so she cajoled and tricked him into taking little Nai out for a haircut. And Gu Xingyi skillfully nestled onto the sofa, took out his cell phone, opened Douyin, and swiped the video. Summer, air conditioning, Wi-Fi, watermelon, wife and kids not at home. This day, Gu Xingyi felt that life had reached its peak at the moment. Just after swiping no more than 2 videos, Gu Xingyi saw that the teaser trailer for As Long as It's Ordinary had actually appeared. Wahine speed is efficiency. The video comes out at the end of the month, and it's only the 26th, and the teaser is already online. The teaser for As Long as It Takes to Be Ordinary was simple, a couple of video clips paired with 2 lines of a song that whetted the audience's appetite. Gu Xingyi had just clicked on the teaser video when his voice unexpectedly came out of his cell phone. Falling into the grave, falling into the abyss, stained face of dirt. There is no halo of God, hold the mundane in your hands. They were followed by 3 firefighters with extinguishing guns, facing the blazing fire, their faces smeared with ash and their eyes unusually resolute. The video came to an abrupt halt at this point, with only a low voice ringing out. Them. Nameless. Them. Ordinary. Them. But worth remembering. Gu Xingyi was puzzled as to why the trailer featured his own voice when Lin had clearly said that he would use the children as lead singers. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this trailer has been a hit online. A clip, a lyric, a statement. It's brief but deep enough that the teaser has only been out for only 2 hours and it's already killing it at number 10 on the Hot 100. This was also helped by the fact that one mainstream media outlet after another was scrambling to cover it, and they were heavily publicizing the trailer with various headlines, as well as getting the trailer into the sites of all the major online bloggers. Anyone with a discerning eye knows what kind of heat it's going to be when this main movie comes out, so they're starting to retweet it as well. As major online bloggers retweeted the teaser heat intensified and comments from all over the world rocketed. Hats off to the heroes. One line of the lyrics and I got goosebumps. Ordinary reveals touching hearts, the uncooled fervor engraved in the blood of the Chinese people. Looking forward to the main movie. Definitely the first to watch it. Support the unsung heroes. Have forwarded. Let more people see the romance that is uniquely our country of China. I just want to say, why does singing this voice sound so familiar? Where have I heard it before? And I can't remember, whatever. Let's like and favorite it first. I cried when I saw these 3 young firefighters. My son is a firefighter and our family is scared every time we go out on a mission. They stand up to everyone. Only sorry for their loved ones. Auntie. I can understand you. In fact, it's not just firefighters. I'm a nurse and my mom has been secretly wiping her tears at home every time she collapses from exhaustion outside the operating room. Sister nurse upstairs, so heartbreaking. So want to hug you. Are you serious with this hug? Sister nurse, don't let him fool you, let me do it. I'm serious. Shit. I was going to cry. You 2 bastards made me laugh again. Now I'm crying and laughing at the same time. Various comments appeared in the comments section, but none of them were looking forward to the appearance of the main movie, and the fervor engraved in everyone's bones guided them to start paying attention to these silent and unsung heroes. Gushingyi, who was brushing the comments, was relieved that the song, the video, the old man's efforts were not in vain, and everyone saw and felt it. It's good that the feelings and ideas they were trying to convey weren't buried, and that the one touching story that wasn't ever known was competing for attention in the comments section. The door opened. Gushingyi put down his cell phone and looked toward the door. It was Xiaoshirya holding little Nai, who came back from outside to get a haircut, and seeing little Nai's new hairstyle, Gushingyi only felt his eyes light up. The original little guy's 2 little crochets have been balled up into 2 small pulls, tied with 2 beautiful big red ribbons. The forehead's thin chi bangs have been left to the eyebrows, and the original thin broken hair on the ear side has also been gathered behind the ear. Living a little fairy out of the fairy tale world, looking at Gushingyi's heart is going to melt away. Gushingyi was busy holding out his hands. Whose little fairy is this? Come here, give me a hug. The little guy immediately smiled to see the teeth, even some twisted ran to Xiaoshirya behind, hold her thighs, small face buried deep. Xiaoshirya was all amused by little Nai's actions, watching the interaction between this father and daughter pair with amusement. Hi. Hi. The little guy's still shy. Gushingyi wasn't going to spoil her. He only wanted to hug his cute daughter now. He stood up, walked over to Xiaoshirya and squatted down beside her, pretending to be surprised. Aya. This little fairy turns out to be my precious daughter. Saying that, and ignoring little Nai's struggles, he picked her up from the ground in one hand, and looked at the little one's slightly reddened little face up close. Lingering big eyes, pink little face now also has a little meat on it. Gushingyi is how to see how to like. He unconsciously reached out and lightly scraped his fingers over the bridge of the little one's delicate, smooth little nose. Nana doesn't want daddy to hold her? Then daddy will be sad. Think. Daddy's not allowed to be sad. The little guy immediately wrapped his arms around Gushingyi's neck and arched in his arms, afraid that his refusal would strike his father. Gushingyi happily kissed little Nai's delicate face. 3-0. The little guy's pampering is too foul, while Gushingyi completely adorable. Even the bottom of the heart is like eating sugar sweet. It's true what they say about daughters being their father's coats. Alright. Don't get tired of being at the door. Get in there. Xiaoshirya laughed and closed the gate behind her, pushing these 2 bottomless show of love father and daughter towards the house. Gushingyi cheerfully hugged the little one and sat back on the sofa, digging a mouthful of watermelon into his daughter's mouth, then turned his head to look at Xiaoshirya and said, "By the way, are you reporting for work at Sound and Sea Entertainment at the beginning of August?" At those words, Xiaoshirya also sat down on the sofa, a pair of beautiful eyes blinking lightly. Well, before that, I'm going to pick up Lele and then go find Sister Yun. They'll be very happy if they know I can make a comeback. Xiaoshirya said, a smile on her face from the bottom of her heart. Before she hastily retreated from the circle, she was most sorry for these 2 people. Now even if not for her own dream, for the sake of the 2 of them, she has to work hard to be right. Aha! Gushingyi nodded and rubbed little Nai's hair, but in his heart he was pondering what song he should write for Xiaoshirya when the time came. This was the first battle of her comeback, she had to play it beautifully. Xiaoshirya's tone was very good, whether it was a sweet song or a sad song she could handle, so there were so many to choose from that Gushingyi was a bit indecisive for a moment. After pondering for a moment to no avail, Gushingyi thought of something else. Right, go buy a car in the next few days. No. By 2, in another month, Nai should be in kindergarten. it's convenient to transport her back and forth. In addition, although Sonic C Entertainment will give you a nanny car, you still need a car when you go out during your usual leisure time. Xia Xiao pondered for a while, also think can buy a car, before has been at home do not go out, there is no car does not matter, now have to often go out, no car is really inconvenient. But she was worried that Gu Xingyi didn't have enough money on her, after all, the proceeds from the first 2 videos had been used to buy a lot of furniture, and Gu Xingyi had gone out on another trip, so she didn't know how much was left. Although before Gu Xingyi went out last time, he tied his bank card to Xia Shuriao's WeChat, but Xia Shuriao didn't know exactly how much money was in it. Nai Nai is going to start kindergarten again soon, and then it will be another expense. After contemplating, Xia Shuriao raised her head, a hint of worry showing in her brows. Let's buy one first, it's convenient for you to go out and pick up the kids at home, I have a company-issued car outside for now, so I shouldn't need it too much, and I'll think about buying a car when I've made some money. Xia Shuriao thought that she would consider these issues when she released her songs, made an album, and had earnings. Thinking about this, Xia Shuriao was a little sad again. She herself wasn't sure when she could have a singing, although the contract from SoundC Entertainment was a top-notch resource, there was also a clause attached to it that the songs were self-prepared. She didn't know how Gu Xingyi talked to the company, the resources were given to the top, why didn't he help himself with the song appointment? She was a bit puzzled, after all, she didn't know a few songwriters herself. Thinking of the lyricist, Xia Shuriao suddenly froze, then looked at Gu Xingyi who had a calm face. It seemed like he could write songs. Although he didn't know when he had learned it himself, one of those 2 songs on Douyin was still one that he had taught to Nana on the spot. Gu Xingyi naturally knew Xia Shuriao's worries about not buying a car, and he calmly waved his hand. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about not having enough money at home, let the bullets fly for a while. There will be money in a few days. July 30th, just in time for Sunday. The music video for As Long As It's Ordinary went online at 8 a.m. Right on time, and was co-creatively launched by Huayin and Xingniao's account, with Huayang joining forces with many other departments to forward it at the same time, in a lineup that could be described as unprecedentedly luxurious. Of course, as luxurious as the lineup is, what the audience wants to see is still the quality, and only when the quality is over the top will people buy it and pay attention to the story behind the music video. But there's a saying that's been circulating on the internet now, that when Star Yao produces something, it's a masterpiece. Although Gu Xingyi had only uploaded 2 songs, he had captured the ears of countless fans, and everyone was satisfied with the quality of the songs he had created. Now that we see that the lyrics and music of this music video are actually both Xingyao, everyone is also instantly interested. If this mysterious guy doesn't make a move, it's bound to be amazing. So the viewers clicked on the music video to get a glimpse of the spectacle. In the old neighborhood of Jiangcheng, Gu Xingyi's family of 3 also nestled into the sofa early, and Gu Xingyi cast his cell phone to the TV and tapped on Douyin. Xia Shuriao and little Nai Nai were still in the dark, they only knew that Gu Xingyi had dragged them up early in the morning and said that he was showing them something good, they didn't know what it was. Gu Xingyi clicked the music video of the song on, and the family looked at the TV at the same time. In the moment when the music video image just came out, Xia Shuriao and little Nai Nai were quiet at the same time. They were a bit surprised, only to see the title As Long As Ordinary appear in 4 big words on the TV screen, and the lyricist underneath was clear as Xingyao. And the music video was 7 minutes long, even Gu Xingyi was confused and didn't know where he got such a long duration. Lin Guodong was trying to show him the finished movie when he contacted him earlier, but he didn't agree. He wanted to share this moment with his family, and he had immense faith in Lin's expertise. Xia Shuriao turned her head to look at Gu Xingyi, a strange color in her almond eyes. She was surprised. He wrote another song. And it's still co-written with Huayin. Just horrible. So he went out and did all that before? Didn't even know it himself. Xia Shuriao shifted her gaze to the TV once again, wanting to see just what he had done behind his mother's back. As soon as the title ends in the music video, a group of energetic children around the age of 10 appear on the screen, uniformly dressed in black short sleeves, and in their midst is a middle-aged teacher playing the piano. The piano plays and the camera pans out, giving a close-up to the first little girl, who opens her mouth to sing with deep emotion in her eyes and a hand outstretched as if gently summoning something. Maybe far away or yesterday, here or across the river. The scene shifts to a group of firefighters in orange uniforms with tough faces, carrying various rescue supplies and using their bodies as bridges to cross the river. The camera panned again, switching to another little girl, who was already slightly red-eyed, lowering her brow and murmuring softly. A long road of sorrows and sorrows, people coming together and people coming apart. The little girl's figure gradually blurred into a family sitting around the table, eating dumplings, watching TV, which should be a joyous reunion, but the place is quiet, only the grandmother sitting on the first seat to hold back tears watching the TV. On the TV was a report of his grandson's heroic death. 2 more little girl figures appeared one after the other, singing softly. Letting go of right and wrong is the answer, living bravely. Without the aura of God, you and I were born ordinary. After 2 lines of singing, the figure disappeared and turned into an unassuming-looking man whose eyes were glittering, staring at the thief who was stealing from the bus. The moment the thief got his hands on him, he yanked the thief, but the nearby onlookers were scared and hid far away, and they all watched with cold eyes. In an instant, 2 more thieves surrounded the man, and the situation was momentarily unfavorable for the man. Countless people who are watching this video at this time cannot help but seize the heart, fists clenched tightly, eyes with tears, itching to drill into the video, to help him subdue the thief. But the video footage was hidden at that point, and the teacher just played the piano silently as one of the little girls sang again. Recognizing regret and heartbreak, life is long and short. The scene abruptly arrives at a hospital, where a tired doctor hands over a newborn baby to a pair of elderly men, who cry tears of joy on the spot, thanking the doctor over and over again. Beating hearts grow vines, willing to fight for danger. The baby grew, and he was no other than the man who had caught the thief, who at the moment was facing the 3 thieves, yet his face remained unafraid. The camera switches again and 2 more little girls appear, their hands open and calling out. Down into the grayness, into the abyss, with dirt-stained faces. Without the halo of God, hold the mundane in your hands. Moved. One of those onlookers, a grizzled migrant worker, took a firm step forward and stepped in front of the man, facing the thief. His furrowed face was so determined at the moment, and as he did, one commoner after another took a step forward to confront the 3 thieves. A look of horror visibly spread across the faces of those 3 thieves, who seemed to be in disbelief as to how these ordinary-to-the-dusters dared to take this step. Just then, the camera shows a young boy with a hopeful light on his face, humming softly. This heart has no regrets in this life, the fire of life has been kindled. As it played, all the viewers who were watching the video couldn't help but cry tears of joy as they saw the 3 thieves being subdued by a combined effort. This heart has no regrets. No regrets in this life. The fire of life is lit. The piano music continues, the images continue, but the fire in everyone's heart is lit, this sadness, this touch, this little bit from the side. They noticed. Another little boy appeared, and the corners of his mouth flicked up. One day it may be far away, and maybe we'll see each other again. The scene turns to the group of firefighters who have dribbled across the river, at the moment covered in mud but full of joy, as countless people clip-clop and wave. Whether in the crowd in the sky, let me see your face again. The camera draws closer, these firefighters are only about 20, their faces of childishness has not yet completely faded, but this one a childish face at the moment is remembered by countless people. Those who were entwined in the road to see them off, although there was not a word in their mouths, but all kinds of things in their hands were stuffed into their arms, and the hot tears with smiles were spread all over their faces. At this time there is no sound, at this time there are no words but tears. The figure of a little girl also appeared at that moment, singing softly in a clean and pure voice. Let the tears spread over the eyes, though there are no words for the tears. In the next scene, an unseen image emerges of ordinary people, who at the moment are so extraordinary in the eyes of the audience. Don't want God's aura. Just your ordinariness. The piano continued to play, and everyone was infected by the deeply moving music and images, and they just hated that they hadn't realized earlier that there were so many lovely people around them. Throughout the music video so far, the heroes appearing in this have not said a single word, but what they have done has been memorized by all the viewers. The scene continues as a chorus of all the children begins, rocking the crowd, the innocent voices singing the tear-jerking story that brought everyone to silence. They usually stargaze and frolic online, and for the first time, some kind of fire was lit in their hearts. The song ends with a picture of all the children singing in unison. This trip, this life has no regrets. The fire of life has been lit. The screen fell into darkness and a male voice suddenly sounded. We're not heroes, we're just doing what we're supposed to do. Gu Xingyi nestled in the sofa, rubbing his glazed eyes. He had thought that this video would be very insightful, and he didn't realize that actually shooting it was so shocking. Xia Shiyao was already sobbing uncontrollably, nestled in Gu Xingyi's arms, her eyes full of crystalline teardrops constantly dripping down, like a beaded curtain with broken threads, wetting Gu Xingyi's clothes constantly. Little Nai Nai at this moment is also deflated little mouth, little golden beans from time to time slipped from the face. The little one has already had the initial view of good and evil. She saw these kind brothers and sisters so hard, the heart is also very aggrieved. People are emotional, and this video has by now made all the countless netizens who watched the music video tear up and break their collective defenses, and at this point no one is paying attention to the length of the video anymore. They just watched silently, silently heartbroken, silently weeping. After the man's words ended, a line of dialogue rang out again from the darkened screen. Gu, clean singing or? Piano it is, just use the piano accompaniment for this song. Yes. Simple one-by-one question and answer, just the male voice of this conversation. Many netizens feel familiar, they listen carefully, and then suddenly realize that this is not Xingyao, that unique gentle voice? So the back is an egg? Starry Yao himself will appear? Sure enough, a sheet of illuminated material flew across the screen behind it, and Gu Xingyi's unique gentle voice rang out, matching the material, once again allowing the majority of netizens to break their defenses. This then. Have to cheat myself out of another wave of tears, I'm crying my eyes out. Until the last piece of material disappeared, Xingyao's figure didn't even appear, he was still so mysterious. But all were satisfied that the material, one figure in this video, was seared into the hearts of all. They will never forget what they saw and heard today for a long time to come. Even the main movie was sent out for a long time, not a single person liked it, not a single person commented on it, everyone seemed to have disappeared en masse. At this moment in Wei Yin's conference room, Lin Guodong had been looking at the real-time data on the internet, and he couldn't understand why there were more than 100 million people watching at the same time, but not a single nod of approval. Don't people recognize this video? Lin was a little lost, and he wiped his slightly red eyes, having some difficulty accepting the situation. However, the next moment, only to see the data of this video, suddenly took off, and the number of likes and comments even exploded like a flood. One shot. This is the first time in the history of Douyin, in such a short period of time, the data has risen in just a few breaths, the number of likes from 100,000 soared to 5 million, then 10 million, 20 million. The Duwop platform had its first ever jam screen. Even so, it seemed as if it couldn't stop the majority of netizens from liking and commenting in the slightest. They were curious about this music video released by Hua Yin from the beginning, and then they were looking forward to it when they saw that it was composed by Xingyao. But now that they've seen it completely, they're completely moved by it. Empathy is the most intuitive feeling in every heart right now. This video, too, rushed straight up the hot search from the end, firmly occupying the first place on the Douyin hot search list, and right after that, the following 5 hot searches were all about the music video of As Long as It's Ordinary. A violent burst of cheers erupted from Hua Yin's conference room. Lin also clenched his fists in excitement, speechlessly watching the rapidly rising data. It turns out that it's not that people don't feel it, they haven't had time to digest the feeling. Another half hour passed. This heat is not only Douyin, and even spread to Weibo. Weibo hot search is clear of the topic of this MV, the majority of netizens are constantly discussing. I don't know which netizen was the first to see that the Hua Yin platform had uploaded the music of the pure version of As Long as It's Ordinary. And it was set to be free. He informed the crowd with a mere post on the Huddle blog. At this time, everyone who had seen the music video rushed to the bottom of the Wahini platform and scored it. Download. Favorites. One key triplet. The storm of As Long as It's Ordinary just swept across the internet, blowing up so quickly that the knowledgeable Lin didn't even expect it, and he was now incredibly glad that he had chosen this song by Gu Xingyi. This is material that, if it were any other mediocre song, would certainly not be as hot as it is. After just 1 hour, the number of plays of the single song on the Hua Yin platform had broken through 100 million, and Douyin had even broken through to 200 million plays. What a terrifying figure this was. This has also led to the entire network now. The hottest topic is today's music video. No matter which social media platform, this topic is firmly occupying the top one. No one can shake the first big brother on the list. The whole audience was commenting on it, and those figures were deeply imprinted in their minds, and they couldn't calm down for a long time in their hearts, and they needed to let it out. They shouldn't just be buried. To be hidden. We should remember the scene we saw today and pass on the spirit. This one figure set to a song like this and then sung by these kids, I literally cried my eyes out. They are also the children of their parents. Some of them don't even look older than me. But watching them use their bodies to build bridges across the river, I really couldn't hold it together. Don't want God's aura. Just your ordinariness. This trip is not regrettable in this life. The fire of life has been lit. I'll see who dares to smack bully them later. I'll go up there and do a sliding shovel. Without their contribution, how can we have a stable life? I've really seen it today. When I grow up, I want to be like them. Be one of those people. Never fails to touch and honor. How many unsung heroes have given so that we are now prosperous? Thank you, Wahini. Thank you, Star Yao. Let us hear and see such a deep and good work. Xing Yao Ah. I'll be your biggest fan from now on. I love every song of yours. I can't listen to any other songs since you appeared. I'm a diehard Star Yao fan. From the moment his first video appeared. I knew it. This. The. Then. No. One. Normal. Oh, I'm still moving. It's just a shame. He still hasn't shown his face. It's a no-show. But I got it. His last name is Gu. Gu Xingyao? And why is it like a girl's name? The comments section is basically full of compliments and feelings. Only a small number of brainless black people just said a word and were immediately drowned out by the army. This kind of what, no one will spoil them. There was also a portion of people who were Gu Xingyao's fans themselves, and after seeing this video, they directly turned into die-hard fans, and they felt happy at this moment that they could fan such a person. Within this day, the entire Chinese entertainment industry was shaken up. No matter which entertainment company or individual. All silently retweeted the video after seeing it. This kind of heat they are beyond envious, but they cannot envy, they can only follow the silent rubbing the heat, forcibly selling a wave of persona. It was noon, and at the moment, Gu Xingyi was wrapping his arms around the big and small beauties, tenderly rubbing one's head and patting one's back. He wanted to open his mouth, but he didn't know what to say, because he himself was touched, and although he had given the song to Lin, the entire video was a creation of the Huayin film crew, and he hadn't gone through it in advance. Let's just say that Wahini gave the song a perfect home. Nestled in Gu Xingyi's arms sobbing lowly, Xia Shuriyao took Gu Xingyi's corner of the coat. The tears and snot will be wiped on it. A grieved little poor look caused Gu Xingyi a burst of heartache. It's not just watching a video, just cry, why are you still aggravated? Xia Shuriyao finally realized what he had been busy with out there the other day, creating such a song, working with Huayin, helping himself to that unrealistic contract, what he had been through, he didn't even know himself. She was aggrieved that Gu Xingyi had done so much outside and came back without telling herself. Had he suffered outside because of this? Did he give anyone a hard time? And how much energy it took to create such a song. She knew nothing but to sit contentedly at home, even as he returned with a bouquet of flowers representing salvation and hope. All right, don't cry. Want some lunch? I'm going to go make you something nice to eat, will you hold Nina? Gu Xingyi gently patted her back again. The little guy was tired of crying and had long since fallen asleep under Gu Xingyi's soothing presence. No. Got it. You go blah. Xia Shuriyao forcefully wiped the tears on her own face once again on his clothes, and got out of his arms, pouting her little lips as she carried Nai Nai into her own arms. The voice is soft and melodious. Meanwhile, in the center of Jiangcheng City, the branch of Tianmei Entertainment. Lu Qian's face was gloomy as if it could drip water, her agent, Sister Yuan, was equally pale, and the atmosphere in the room was sullen. Only Dorothy was snickering not far away, gloating. Lu Qian glanced at her agent, the more she felt that this aged woman was really useless. Sister Hope. Wasn't my song originally scheduled to go live on Huayin at the end of July? What's going on now? The song has been jacked down and I'm supposed to put it back online at the beginning of August? The company's doing all the publicity. I just bought the hot search. They're good. Not only did they postpone my song without a word, they dominated all the hot searches, Sister Yuan. You've been in charge of this, you have to give me an explanation. Sister Yuan's face became even more gloomy. She was already in a bad mood after such an incident, and now Lu Qian was still yelling at herself. For a while she was even more furious in her heart. Explanation? You want an explanation from me? Why don't you go to Huayin if you have the guts? Why are you so angry with me? Originally, this activity over there was scheduled to end in mid-August, but who knows where a Xingyao came from, and one song froze Weiyan's music video to go online earlier. If she didn't still have to rely on Lu Qian for food, Yuan didn't even want to pay attention to her. So what now? Lu Qian's tone is still very strong. Yuan frowned. They are now a grasshopper on a rope. They cannot turn their faces, they can only take a deep breath and patiently said, "What can we do? We can only wait for this wind to blow over, and then let your album go online, but this time the company's resources definitely won't give too much, we can only rely on ourselves to find a way." Lu Qian also knows that it can only be so, just that she is really angry in her heart. She could only secretly curse Xingyao in her heart, it was all because of him. Snatching away the heat that originally belonged to her. When Lu Qian turned her face and saw Tao Lele, who was covering her mouth and snickering not far away, she became even more furious. "Dorothy! Can't you see what a mess this site is in? Why don't you come over here and clean it up?" The sound was sharp and shrill, causing Dorothy to pull out her ears. Sorry about that. My contract expired today and I've already submitted my separation paperwork. Ha ha. I'm not serving. Dorothy said, grinning broadly, sitting back in her chair with her legs crossed, sipping her tea leisurely. Anyway, they were leaving, so they were giving back a shit about face. Tao Lele's heart was extremely pleasant at the moment. Lu Qian stood up with a swish, pointing at Tao Lele, her face flushed green and white for a while, and she couldn't utter a word for half a day. Some people rejoice, others rejoice even more. Gu Xingyi had lunch, and the family happily took a taxi out. They are going to buy a car at a 4S store today. The proceeds from the music video co-created with Huayin hadn't arrived yet, but the savings Gu Xingyi had on him were more than enough to buy a replacement car. Their home was an hour's drive from the nearest 4S store, and at 2:20 p.m. The family arrived at the 4S store on time. "Welcome, do you have a preferred model, ma'am or sir?" The salesman in charge of the reception of the eyes shine, he has several years of sales experience, such a family of 3 to see the car, 80% can be sold. Gu Xingyi nodded. When he was at home, he and Xia Shuriyao both researched ahead of time and finally chose a model before coming over. "Got an H9? Top of the line." Yes. Once you hear Gu Xingyi really have a favorite model, the salesman's eyes are brighter. H9, the top of the line, the cheapest landed down to have to be more than 30W. The salesman's eyes are brighter. "Sir, we happen to have a current car for the H9 top end over here, and it's 2 of them. One quicksand gold, one gentian purple, which one do you think you should look at first?" The salesman said as he led Gu Xingyi and the 3 of them inside the store. He was worthy of having several years of sales experience, and what he said was very knowledgeable. He didn't ask Gu Xingyi which one he wanted to see, but asked him which one he wanted to see first, which made people comfortable to hear, as if saying that people like you, no matter which one that is not all randomly selected, this is the art of language. Gentian purple it is. It looks a little deeper. This is also what the 2 agreed on at home a long time ago. Gentian purple is more noble, and Xia Shuriyao won't lose too much face when she goes out. Monsieur is so discerning. Gentian violet is indeed more suitable for your wife's temperament. The salesman said as he led Gu Xingyi to the front of the car and introduced, "This is the H9, gentian purple, top of the line with a HUD head-up display, panoramic sunroof, steering wheel electric memory seats, rear boss key adjustment, heated seats, and many other features, and the ambient lighting inside the car is very beautiful. Sir, try sitting in it?" Gu Xingyi shook his head and let out a laugh. "I won't sit down, Xia Shuriyao, I will hold it for me, try it." He saw Xia Shuriyao's eyes clearly light up when she saw the car, obviously she was quite satisfied with it. Xia Shuriyao was a little shy, her cheeks were all slightly reddened, but she still mustered up the courage to hand little Nai to Gu Xingyi and sat in. She had fantasized before that she would have a car of her own, and she didn't think it would come true today. The car is very good, the lines are beautiful and not overbearing, the feel of the hands is good, the engine sound is great, especially this car interior, Xia Shiyao very much like. Seeing that Xia Shiyao was a bit in love, Gu Xingyi was even happier. He boldly pulled out his bank card and driver's license and handed them to the salesman. This is the one. Full payment. Swipe the card. The corners of the salesman's mouth were grinning up to his ears, but he asked professionally. Sir, won't you ask the price? No need. I've been inquiring about the price, you just watch and give a discount, as long as it doesn't exceed the price I inquired about, I'll settle for this car today. Hearing this, the salesman's heart thumped. Well, this handsome man in front of him is also a smart person, not telling himself his consultation price, which makes his room for maneuver a lot less. Okay. Sir, I'll definitely give you the best deal, wait, I'll go prepare the materials, if it's suitable we'll make a deal. After that, the salesman left with his bank card and driver's license to prepare various documents. Gu Xingyi didn't wait long before the salesman came back with the purchase contract and various materials, and the few people walked over to the lounge area table and sat down. Sir, if you pay in full, we can give you 38.5W, insurance and license plate are all inclusive, and send you a full set of car seat cover and car coat, you can pick up the car tomorrow. Gu Xingyi nodded, the price was similar to what he had inquired about, and the salesman was quite to his liking. So without saying a word, he entered his PIN and swiped his card to pay. All the formalities are over, Gu Xingyi made an appointment with the salesman to come over tomorrow morning to pick up the car, and then happily left the 4S store. When I got home, it was 5 in the afternoon. Gu Xingyi, who had just arrived home, received a call from Yang Changlin. Hey! Big talent, congratulations! Now the internet is full of news about that music video and you're totally on fire. Good day, I don't want to be famous that much, but it's your company, you must have gained a lot of benefits this time. Gu Xingyi laughed, his song was sent to Huayin on behalf of SoundC Entertainment, and their company must have gained a lot of benefits. These benefits may not be seen for a while, but they will slowly appear in the future, and Huayin will definitely be the first to think of them when she has any benefits in the future. That's not thanks to the blessing of you, a great talent, down to business. When will Xia Shiyao come over to report for duty? On the other end of the phone, Yang Changlin flirted with Gu Xingyi, then asked with a smile. Gu Xingyi looked at Xia Shiyao on the sofa, who was stubbing out her ears and quietly eavesdropping on her phone call, and smiled. In a couple of days, the 3rd at the latest, there's some family stuff going on, so I'll go over there after I take care of it. Good. Then I'll be waiting for her here. Yang Changlin was curious in his heart as to what kind of character a woman who could make Gu Xingyi run around for her like this would be. The efficiency of the 4S store is very fast, the next day at 10 a.m. The salesman called to inform that the car has been on the license plate to do a good job of insurance, you can pick up the car at any time. The task of picking up the car was given to Xia Shiyao. Gu Xingyi didn't go with her but stayed at home to look after little Nai Nai. Xia Shiyao had driven a car before, so Gu Xingyi wasn't worried. Arriving all the way to the 4S store, Xia Shiyao managed to mention the car, and after trying to drive it for a while, she drove to the city. She was going to find Lele and Sister Yun and bring them along to SoundC Entertainment tomorrow. Xia Shiyao had already made plans to report to SoundC Entertainment tomorrow, and although Gu Xingyi said she could go later, she didn't want to. She also had her own little mind, besides singing being her dream, she didn't want to be like a vase that would only rely on Gu Xingyi. At the moment Xia Shiyao didn't know that Tao Lele had already left her job. She drove to reach the Tianmei Entertainment building not far away before she called Tao Lele. She wanted to give her a surprise. The phone was quickly picked up. Xia Shiyao had a smile on her face, even her voice was much brighter. Joy! Guess where I am? Tao Lele was packing up her things in her rented house. After leaving her job she planned to hit the road back to her hometown. She had already thought about it. Here is no place to stay, there is a place to stay. Can she, Dorothy, still not find a job? It was also at this time that she received a call from Xia Shiyao. Sister Xiaoyo, where else would you be if you weren't at home? Idiot! I'm downstairs in your office. Come on down. I have something to tell you. Huh? Then Sister Xiaoyo, wait for a while. I'll be right there. Tao Lei was a bit flustered all of a sudden. Why did Sister Shiryao run downstairs of her company? For a moment, she was a little unsure of how to tell Xia Shiryao that she was leaving her job to go back to her hometown. Fortunately, the house that Tao Lei rented was not far from the Tianmei Entertainment Mansion, and in a short while, she ran downstairs out of breath, looking around. Until she heard a joy. "I'm here." She turned her head to look, only to see Xia Shiryao getting out of a brand new car and waving at herself. "Sister Xiaoyou." Tao Luoli's eyes narrowed into a nice arc as she quickly walked over to Xia Shiryao. "Sister Xiaoyou. You bought a car?" Tao Lei looked at the brand new car next to Xia Shiryao with an unbelievable face. That man would even buy a car for Sister Shiryao? Isn't he not good to Sister Shiryao? Xia Shiryao smiled and nodded, taking Tao Lei's hand. "Yeah. I just bought it. I have something to discuss with you today. Are you free?" Xia Shiryao's almond eyes curved up slightly, a happy expression leaping out on her face. It was only then that Tao Lulu realized that the Xia Shiryao this time seemed to be a bit different again from the last time she saw her. Her skin was quite a bit more hydrated, her face was a bit more rounded, her complexion was obviously much better, and most of all, it was the confidence in her that seemed to have returned. Seeing Xia Shiryao like this, Tao Lei's eyes were a little bright. Her sister Shiryao had returned. "Sister Xiaoyou. I'm free, more than enough. Tell me what's up." "Joy. Come back as my assistant again. Let's get Sister Yun together, I'm making a comeback." Xia Shiryao took Tao Lei's hand with a longing light in her eyes. Dorothy froze, she couldn't believe her ears. It took her a long time to come back to her senses, and she couldn't help but grip Xia Shiryao's hand even harder. "Really? Sister Shiryao? You're not lying to me, right? You're making a comeback?" "Really?" Xia Shiryao gave an affirmative answer. "Yay! I knew it. There's no such thing as the path of joy in heaven, ha ha ha. Sister Xiaoyou, what a coincidence. I just resigned, hey. We can be together again." Tao Lei jumped up all of a sudden and danced happily. She dreamed of continuing to fight side by side with her Xiaoyou sister. Xia Shiryao froze for a moment, she then realized that Lei had all left her job. "Joy. You. I'm sorry, I was too willful in the past, it won't happen again." It's all because of herself that Lei and Sister Yin are like this. When she thought of this, Xia Shiryao blamed herself and felt sad, even her previous cheerfulness dissipated a bit. "Hey Sister Xiaoyou. People have the right to make their own choices. I don't blame you, I'm sure Sister Yin won't blame you either, and you're making a comeback now. We have to look towards the future." As soon as Tao Lulu looked at Xia Shiryao falling into self-blame again, she was busy stabilizing herself and hugging her to comfort her. "Aha! Lei, you know where Sister Yin is, right? Then let's go find her now." "I know. She's definitely at the Qingpu District People's Hospital right now taking care of her mom. Every day, except for the 4 hours she's at work, Sister Yin will be there." "Good. Then let's go now." Xia Shiryao didn't waste any time, directly letting Tao Lei get on the car. The two of them rushed towards the hospital. In the car, Tao Lei curiously looked at this brand new interior inside the car, and then looked at Xia Shiryao, who was focused on driving. "Sister Xiaoyou, does he know about your comeback?" Xia Shiryao nodded, the corners of her mouth unconsciously curling up gently. "I know, he's still the one who went to negotiate my contract for this comeback, and the car, he bought it for me." Tao Lei's small mouth slightly opened in shock as she exclaimed out in disbelief. "He negotiated the contract for you? How can that be? Sister Shiryao. You won't lie to me." Xia Shiryao shook her head and said seriously, "It's true, he helped me negotiate the contract of Soundsea Entertainment, and it's the top kind." Tao Lei didn't know what to say, she couldn't figure out how she could negotiate a top contract with just Gu Xingyi's kind. Seeing that Tao Lei didn't reply, Xia Shiryao continued to speak. "Gu Xingyi. He's really quite good to me now, so don't treat him with that attitude anymore. Oh, Sister Xiaoyou, domineering husband protector, oh. I'm jealous. The kind that can't be coaxed well. Taluola pouted her lips and pulled a very long coda, poking fun at Xia Shiyao. Xia Shiyao's pretty face steeply flushed red, but she did not retort. The car quickly arrived at the hospital as the two chatted. Xia Shiyao and Tao Lele carried the fruits they bought on the way all the way to the hospital's inpatient department. Third floor of the inpatient unit, room 302. Xia Shiyao knocked on the door with apprehension in her heart, and the moment she saw Sister Yun, she nearly cried out. Originally a head of green silk, Yun surprisingly gave birth to some white hair. Tough face is now also full of vicissitudes, haggard, wearing a plain cloth clothes, washed to the white kind. This appearance was the same as the previous Xia Shiyao, and it could be seen that she was having a bad time as well. Upon seeing Xia Shiyao, Sister Yun completely froze and stared at her in a daze. Xia Shiyao didn't know what to say. The two of them stared at each other, speechless for a moment. It was Dorothy who was the first to run in and take Sister Yun's hand. "Sister Yun, Sister Shiyao and I have come to look for you. How is Auntie's health?" It was then that Yun reacted, a little panicked, her two hands tangled together. "Why didn't you tell me in advance when you came? Look at me like this, Xiaoyo." "Xiaoyo, come in and sit down." "I just put my mom to sleep. She's okay, she can eat and drink, and she'll heal with another surgery." Speaking of her mother, only then did a hint of a smile appear on Yun's face. Only the smile hid a hint of bitterness. She is at the end of her tether. She still owes 100,000 or so outside. Her relatives and friends at home have all borrowed, and the next operation, what will she take to pay for it? Xia Shiyao walked into the ward and sat down. She lowered her head and bit her lip, like a child who did something wrong, not daring to look at Sister Yun again. Tao Lele patted Sister Yun's hand and her gaze went to Xia Shiyao. Sister Yun also looked at Xia Shiyao, looking carefully, and a moment later a smile of relief appeared on her face. She approached her and sat beside her, taking her hand. "Shiyao, I'm happy that you came to see me. I'm even happier to see you like this now. It means that you're doing well. In the past, Sister Yun stopped you. It was for your own good. Don't take it personally." "Sister Yun, I'm sorry." Xia Shiyao couldn't hold herself together any longer and directly jumped into Sister Yun's arms, tears sliding down her face like raindrops. Sister Yun gently patted Xia Shiyao's back and said softly, "No need to apologize. What kind of mother blames her child? I really do treat you like my daughter." "Well, don't cry, you'll turn ugly if you do." Xia Shiyao was an orphan, but she had been taken care of by Sister Yun since she graduated from college. From the time she was unknown, to the time she became popular by participating in a singing competition, to the time she retired, at all times, Sister Yun was by her side. So when Yun said what kind of mom would blame her child, Xia Shiyao cried even more fiercely. Sister Yun was guarding her step by step. It was really like a mother caring for her own child. That's why it wasn't her who was hurt the most when she willfully retired from the circle, but Sister Yun. Sister Yun gently patted Xia Shiyao like this, until she was tired of crying and raised her already red and swollen eyes to look at herself. Only then did Sister Yun smile gently at her. Xia Shiyao pursed her lips. "Sister Yun, I'm going to make a comeback. Will you still come and be my manager?" Hearing Xia Shiyao say that, Sister Yun froze for a moment, then frowned her good-looking eyebrows. "Let's not talk about the comeback. What about your child? Are you comfortable with that Gu Xingyi kid taking her?" Compared to Taolulu, Yun was more sensible. She clearly remembered that the kid looked less honest and didn't look like someone who would bring up a child. But Xia Shiyao nodded her head. "Gu Xingyi is Nai Nai's father. He'll take care of Nai Nai. I trust him." Sister Yun rubbed her temples, not knowing what had happened in it, but looking at Xia Shiyao's look of determination. "Well, even if he can take care of the kids, you have to realize that a comeback is not easy. Do you have a company you can sign with now? Even after signing, what kind of resources will the company give you?" "Sister Yun, look. This is the contract for Sound and Sea Entertainment." Xia Shiyao was busy taking the contract out of her bag and handing it to Sister Yun, fearing that if she was a little late she wouldn't believe her. When she saw the contract, Sister Yun froze. It was actually Sound Sea Entertainment, one of the 3 giants in China? "Okay, let's see." Saying that, Sister Yun took the contract and carefully looked through it. Then the more she looked at it, the more shocked she became, and when she saw the back of it, her hands had begun to shake slightly. "What kind of divine contract is this? Xia Shiyao kidnapped the owner of Sound and Sea Entertainment? This is a completely unequal contract. To the entertainment company, so many of these looked like overbearing clauses that Xia Shiyao had given to Sound Sea Entertainment. Like top-of-the-line resources. Like unrestricted freedom. Like 2-year contracts. Yun snapped her head up. It's true. Really? Sister Yun, look. There's even a chapter from Sound and Sea Entertainment on it. How could it be fake? Xia Shiyao hurriedly explained. Sister Yun was completely dumbfounded, looking straight at Xia Shiyao. This contract, the articles inside she as an agent had never seen in her life. Outrageous. Sonic Sea Entertainment went crazy. Sister Yun. It's true. I'm going to report to Sound Sea Entertainment tomorrow. Seeing that Sister Yun was still a bit unconvinced, Xia Shiyao busily continued to explain, and only then did Sister Yun believe it, only that her face was still full of shock. It's this. Xia Shiyao, tell me honestly, how did you sign this contract? Seeing that Sister Yun finally believed in herself, Xia Shiyao was relieved and her face blushed slightly. It's Gu Xingyi who went to Magic City to help me bring it. He wrote a song for Sound and Sea Entertainment. Gu Xingyi. Sister Yun simply doubted her ears. Gu Xingyi negotiated a contract for Xia Shiyao? And writing songs? Isn't that a pipe dream? Away from the great spectrum of the world. Xiaodio, never mind that Sister Yun doesn't believe him, he can write songs? Fine. Even if he can write songs. What kind of song would be worth such a contract? Xiaodio. Don't let him fool you. Sister Yun. He really wrote a song. Seeing that Sister Yun didn't believe Gu Xingyi, Xia Shiyao hurriedly took out her cell phone and opened Douyin to tap Xingyao's account and handed it to Sister Yun. Sister Yun half-heartedly took the cell phone. Even Tao Lele on the side also came over. She also didn't believe that man could still write songs. Yet the next second. Oh my god. Over 100 million likes. Dorothy exclaimed exaggeratedly, then suddenly scowled again with an apologetic smile. It's a hospital room, and yelling so much on your own will affect the patients. Sister Yun was also dumbfounded. What video over 100 million likes? Then she saw the name of the account, Star Yao. Followed by Hua Yin co-creator. Star Yao. Hua Yin. So it is. Sister Yun did not click on the video, because this video they have seen. Yun looked up blankly. Xingyao is Gu Xingyi? Dorothy exclaimed in return, but this time with a suppressed voice. Xingyao ah. The hottest and most mysterious guy on the whole internet right now. Right. It seems like his last name is really Gu. The shocked looks of the two made Xia Shiyao blush again, and she was happy that Gu Xingyi could be recognized. She said with a flourish, that's right. Gu Xingyao. My daughter's big name. Geez. Big brother is right around the corner. What was he like before? Was he just pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger? Damn it. Sister Yun also slowed down at this time. She raised her head and returned the cell phone to Xia Shiyao, her eyes somewhat complicated. Xia Shiyao was able to live a good life with a bright future, so of course she was happy. Just. Xiaoyo, with your qualifications, you can definitely find a better agent. I'll just forget about it. No. Sister Yun, you. Sister Cloud. Why? Don't you want me anymore? Tao Lele and Xia Shiyao spoke out at the same time, and Xia Shiyao even had an aggrieved look on her face. Yun sighed and looked into the hospital room. As you can see, I'm in this situation. My mother needs to be taken care of and I really can't leave. You can hire a babysitter. Technology is so advanced nowadays. You can watch the situation remotely at any time. Tao Lele said directly, and Xia Shiyao also looked at Sister Yun with a hopeful expression. Sister Yun was in a difficult situation, where she didn't know that she could hire a nanny, but how could her current financial situation allow her to do so? And being like this, following Xia Shiyao would only drag her down. Xiaodio, you don't need to persuade me anymore. I want to keep my mother. You guys go back. Sister Yun. Go back, Xiaodio. Such a good opportunity, you must cherish it. Don't be so capricious in the future. Sister Yun rubbed Xia Shiyao's hair and ruthlessly twisted her head to stop looking at her. Xia Shiyao bit her lip. She didn't understand why Sister Yun wasn't willing to go with her. Coming over with hope and going back with disappointment, Xia Shiyao and Tao Luolele were silent on the way. Xia Shiyao sent Tao Lele back and drove home alone again. The door to the room opened. Gu Xingyi was playing a game with little Nai Nai, and he couldn't help but freeze when he saw Xia Shiyao. She's crying? What is it? Back? Did things go well? If you don't understand, ask, Gu Xingyi asked directly. Xia Shiyao deflated her mouth and sat down on the sofa. The moment she saw Gu Xingyi, it was like she saw a dependence and she wanted to cry a little. Yun doesn't want to go with me. Why? Gu Xingyi scratched his head. From memory, that stern woman should have favored Xia Shiyao very much. How could she be unwilling? Xia Shiyao told Gu Xingyi all about what she had seen and heard in the hospital today. She spoke accusingly, and Gu Xingyi listened silently. Until he listened to the entire process, Gu Xingyi nodded thoughtfully. I know, you. Just stupid. You stay home with Nina, I'm going out. Huh? Where are you going? Xia Shiyao deflated her mouth with a displeased look on her face. She didn't know if she wasn't happy that Gu Xingyi was calling her stupid, or if she wasn't happy that Gu Xingyi wasn't there for her at this time. I'm going to retrieve someone who is important to you. Idiot. Gu Xingyi first found a housekeeping company. Afterwards, he drove to the hospital that Xia Shiyao had mentioned, and instead of going directly to Sister Yun, he took the lead in finding the doctor. He learned the details of Sister Yun's mother at the doctor's place before he ascended to the inpatient section and came to the door of ward number 302. In front of the hospital room, Gu Xingyi organized his mood and tried to make a cold expression on his face as he gently knocked on the door of the room a few times. Footsteps came from inside, and the next moment the door of the room opened. Sister Yun, whose eyes were slightly red, appeared in front of Gu Xingyi. When she saw Gu Xingyi, Sister Yun couldn't help but stare, wondering what he was doing over. Sister Yun? Won't you let me in first? Gu Xingyi's voice was calm, and being a head taller than Sister Yun, he looked imposing. Sister Yun narrowed her brows, but still sidestepped and allowed Gu Xingyi to enter the room. Yun, is this your friend? Gu Xingyi had just entered the hospital room when he saw an old man with white hair and skinny, bone-thin cheeks, sitting prone on the bed and looking at himself. Before Yun could reply, she saw Gu Xingyi walk quickly to the hospital bed and hold her mother's hand. Auntie, my wife is a friend of Sister Yun's. My wife made a trip here earlier and you were sleeping, so I didn't bother you. So you're Xia Yun's friends. Young man, you've got a heart. It's a blessing for my Xia Yun to have friends like you. Sister Yun's mother patted Gu Xingyi's hand with a kind face, only her thin, bony body looked so heartbreaking. Auntie, look at what you're saying. We're lucky to have Sister Yun as a friend. My wife talks about Sister Yun's good qualities every day at home, and my ears are getting calloused. It's just a pity that my wife wanted to go with Sister Yun on this job, but she didn't want to go because she was worried about your health, and you don't know that my wife was sad to go home. Gu Xingyi shattered his words, but behind him, Sister Yun's face changed violently. This guy turned out to be hired by Xia Shiyao to be a lobbyist? What work? Yun, what's going on? Sister Yun's mother didn't know her exact job, and now that she heard Gu Xingyi say this, her florid white eyebrows immediately furrowed. Mom! Don't listen to him, there's nothing working, I have a good job. Sister Yun glared at Gu Xingyi and hurriedly explained to her own mother. Sister Yun's mother is nearly 70 years old, but she is not stupid. She knows that she must have let her daughter worry, which delayed the work. At that moment, she held Gu Xingyi's hands back with both hands and inquired, Young man, Xia Yun let you guys take the trouble, this kid is just stubborn, tell me, what kind of work? Gu Xingyi showed a difficult face, looked at Sister Yun, before saying, Auntie, you see my mouth, there is no gate, mainly this work requires travel, would have liked to hire a nanny for you to take care of you. Sister Yun cannot rest assured that she wants to personally look after you. Xiao Yun. You kid, why don't you talk to me about this kind of thing? Since work requires you to go on a business trip, go. Sister Yun's mother turned her head to look at her daughter when she heard Gu Xingyi's words. Mom! Sister Yun was anxious, and in her heart, she hated Gu Xingyi even more. She did want to stay here and take care of her mother, but the underlying reason was that she simply couldn't leave, and where would she get the money to hire a babysitter? Even the money for her next surgery was draining her right now. Sister Cloud. Let's go out and talk? Gu Xingyi's face remained calm, as if he didn't care at all about Sister Yun's angry glare. He shook Sister Yun's mother's hand and said cordially again, "Auntie, don't be anxious, this is something that I'll just have a chat with Sister Yun." After saying that, Gu Xingyi got up and left the hospital room. Yun gritted her teeth, looked at her mother, and followed. Inside the corridor, Sister Yun glared up at Gu Xingyi. "What the hell do you want?" "Just take me as the bad guy, I just don't want to upset Xia Shuriyao. I know her, if you don't go with her, she'll be thinking about you all the time, and by then it'll be good to have 5 out of 10 points of enthusiasm." "Right. I've paid for Auntie's next operation, and I've contacted the nanny, so I'll give you the phone number for you to choose your own person." Gu Xingyi returned indifferently, the height difference between the two giving him a somewhat condescending air. "Ha! Gu Xingyi. You're giving me a handout?" Sister Yun laughed angrily. "You're overthinking it. It's going to be paid back. In the future, it will be deducted from the salary Xia Shuriyao pays you. You and Lei were brought there by Xia Shuriyao this time. It has nothing to do with Sound Sea Entertainment. I don't care how much she pays you, it's my money anyway. You have to pay me back." Gu Xingyi shrugged with the look of a landlubber. "Anyway, I've paid for both the surgery and the hiring of the nanny, and they won't give me a refund, so I don't care what you do next." After Gu Xingyi finished speaking, he didn't give Sister Yun time to react, turning around and striding towards the exit. "Gu Xingyi. Don't talk to Xiaoyou." When he was about to reach the door, Sister Yun's voice came, and Gu Xingyi didn't turn his head back, just waved his hand. Sister Yun just watched as Gu Xingyi's figure disappeared out the door, her eyes complicated, before returning to the ward after half a day. "Yun, that young man went back?" Seeing her coming alone, Yun's mother patted the side of the bed and told Yun to sit down. "Don't blame the lad, he's a nice guy. Mom's seen enough people to see what kind of guy he is in his eyes. Mom also knows that you are filial, but daughter, there are many paths for people. If you choose the wrong one, you will regret it later." "Isn't Mom's body fine now?" "One more surgery and it will be completely cured, and the other doctor also said that the risk is not too big. So don't worry about Mom's health, go ahead. If it's really because Mom causes you to regret it later, Mom's heart will be really sad." Sister Yun lowered her head, silently listening to her mother's instructions, and after a long period of silence, she finally nodded her head gently. On this side, Gu Xingyi had just returned home, when Xia Shuriyao came over, her little face full of curiosity. Gu Xingyi purposely didn't look at her, but instead cheerfully picked up little Nai Nai. "Nana, what do you want for dinner?" Xia Shuriyao's expression was completely frozen in disbelief as she looked towards Gu Xingyi, who walked past her. "Daddy loves everything he makes," the little guy said very hilariously, not paying any attention to the fact that his mom was crumpling her little face at that moment. "Good. Then Daddy will do it now," said Gu Xingyi as he kissed the little one on the cheek and headed for the kitchen. "Gu Xingyi. I'm angry." Xia Shuriyao deflated her mouth, her face full of aggression. This person even turned a blind eye to herself. "I don't know how anxious she is waiting at home." "Huh? What is it?" Gu Xingyi turned around with an innocent expression that made Xia Shuriyao even more angry. When she went out she was still calling people idiots with a gentle face, but when she came back she was playing dumb? The more she thought about it, the more angry she became. Xia Shuriyao sat on her butt on the sofa, hugging her chest and skimming her face to stop looking at him. "A little tantrum to see you grow. Not bad." Gu Xingyi laughed and decided not to tease her anymore. "Remember to bring your 2 loyal bodyguards with you when you go out tomorrow. With your temperament, if you don't bring them along, you'll be bullied to death when you go out." Xia Shuriyao turned her head violently, light flashing in her eyes. The speed of this face change made Gu Xingyi marvel. "Sister Yun agreed? What do you say?" "Okay, I'm going to cook. Please leave me alone." "Gu Xingyi, how did you do it?" ABA. Xia Shuriyao ultimately didn't ask how he did it, playing dumb as soon as he did. But that didn't stop her from looking at him with a light in her eyes. It seemed like there wasn't anything he couldn't do since he'd changed. Gu Xingyi frankly enjoyed Xia Shuriyao's adoring gaze. He was a big dog now. Any problem that could be solved with money was not a problem, and the proceeds from co-creating with Wahini made his wallet bulge and swell to the brim. Let's just say that the matter of Sister Yun, after Xia Shuriyao told him about it, he probably guessed the reason. People can't even eat. What dreams to follow with you? This also makes Gu Xingyi sigh. Men and women look at things and deal with them in a really different way. Women are mostly emotional, men are mostly rational. Early the next morning, Xia Shuriyao climbed up. Gu Xingyi also rarely went out for a run today, and the two of them tacitly stayed in the kitchen, cooking breakfast together. Xia Shuriyao's luggage had already been packed and placed in the living room. Little Nai Nai was still sleeping. She wasn't going to wait for little Nai Nai to wake up before leaving. She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to part with it by then. Breakfast was quickly made, and Xia Shuriyao quietly ate her breakfast. Gu Xingyi sat beside her, having a chat. They were just like a normal family. The wife was going out to work, the husband nagging and nagging. Go over there and remember to call often, otherwise Nai Nai will miss you. I've already talked to that side. You'll go over there today, and Mordor isn't far away, so come back when you're free. Remember to talk to me about anything out there, don't keep it to yourself like a fool. Xia Shuriyao ate her porridge while listening to Gu Xingyi speak. She was suddenly a little frustrated inside and kind of didn't want to leave the house. Xia Shuriyao ate this meal very, very slowly, until the kanji was at the bottom and her phone rang. She was still a bit dazed. It was only when Gu Xingyi reminded her that she reacted and picked up the phone. Hey! Sister Shioyo! I'm ready! Sister Yun is with me. When are you coming over? I'll be there later. You guys wait a little longer. Okay, then later, downstairs at my house. I won't see you there. As the phone hung up, Xia Shuriyao raised her head and looked at Gu Xingyi, the look in her almond eyes causing Gu Xingyi's heart to tremble. Xia Shuriyao looked really good, at least among the people Gu Xingyi had seen in his 2 lives. There were few existences that could match her. It was just her character that Gu Xingyi felt was too gentle. This is also related to her experience, right? Gu Xingyi, who grew up in an orphanage, is also clear that people who have had such an experience are either paranoid or have a pleasing personality. Gu Xingyi in his original life was like this. Since he was a child, he would look at other people's faces and act. He knew the heartache of it, so he didn't want Xia Shuriyao to be like this all the time. At the very least, it would be nice to be a little more confident. Gu Xingyi turned his head and looked towards his luggage, not daring to meet her eyes. Time to get going, don't keep people waiting. Well, I'm going to go check on Nene and then I'll go. Xia Shuriyao retracted her gaze and said softly. She felt that looking at him like this was already the boldest thing she had ever done. Gu Xingyi gave a and walked with her to the bedroom. Little Nana was still asleep on all fours, completely unaware that her mom would soon be leaving her. Xia Shuriyao kissed her intimately on her little face, and buried her face deep in the little one's neck and rubbed it, before she reluctantly got up and walked out of the bedroom with a step and 3 turns back. Gu Xingyi followed her, helped her take her luggage to the car, and watched her get into the driver's seat before closing the door and walking to the side. I'm leaving. Xia Shuriyao twisted her head to look at him. Aha! Remember to come home often. Or the little one will definitely cry. Aha! As the car started, Xia Shuriyao suddenly turned her head again with a serious expression. Gu Xingyi, thank you. Without waiting for Gu Xingyi to reply, the car drove off. Gu Xingyi smiled. Hey! We're all family, so what's the thanks for? The car drove all the way to the center of the city. Tao Lele has long been looking forward to, standing downstairs waiting. Her side, Sister Yin shook her head. This little girl worked for so long, the character is still so impatient. Sister Shioyo is here. Xia Shuriyao's car slowly drove up. Tao Lele hurriedly waved her hand until Xia Shuriyao got down from the car. Tao Lele walked up and cheerfully called out. Sister Shioyo. Lele. Sister Yun, you've been waiting for a long time, haven't you? Xia Shuriyao pulled Tao Lele's hand and looked at Sister Yun again, saying with some apologies. Not for a long time, it's mainly because Lele, the little girl, is too impatient. Yun had a smile on her face. She didn't think that the 3 of them would have the day to reunite and work together. Thinking of this, Yun remembered the man who looked like a gigolo, and now it was actually because of him that she was where she was today. Sister Cloud, thank you for coming. Xia Shuriyao walked to Sister Yun again and took her hands, shaking them as if she was pampered. Joy, and I don't know what we'd do without you. Okay. You're a mom now. Still acting like a little kid. You should be thanking your man. No more talk, go get your bags. The working state of Sister Yun appeared to be still competent, only her words made Xia Shiyao make a big red face. She still didn't know how Gu Xingyi convinced Sister Yun. None of the three had a lot of luggage, just the essentials. The car was easily loaded with all the luggage, and as the three got in, Dorothy waved her hand. Let's go. The bright road ahead. Here we go. What a crazy girl. Sister Yun snickered, and Xia Shiyao's face was covered in smiles. The car went all the way to Magic City. Magic City, Sound and Sea Entertainment Building. Yang Changlin came to the office early in the morning, only she was always distracted at work today. It was not easy to get through to noon. Counting the time, Yang Changlin went downstairs and came to the entrance of the building. The guy's wife is coming today. She wanted to see what kind of person the wife she spoiled so much was. After only a short wait, Yang Changlin saw that a car with a Jiangchang license plate drove into the parking lot in front of the building. Yang Changlin's eyes narrowed slightly as he looked closely. Three people came down from the car, a chirpy, youthful girl with boundless energy, and another older one, with gray hair already on her head, looking at the other two the whole time with a doting smile on her face. Seeing the slightest thing, she knew that Xia Shiyao's character must be very good when she saw these two friends of hers. She turned her gaze to the girl walking in the center. Her googly-eyed face was white and red, her almond eyes were like water, her long hair was draped over her shoulders, and she had a gentle smile on her face. The woman who was like water, looking at her made people's hearts ache. No wonder that guy Gu Xingyi would be so. Yang Changlin gathered his emotions and quickly stepped forward. Hello, you are Xia Shiyao, right? I'm the Vice Minister of Human Resources of Sound Sea Entertainment, Yang Changlin. On behalf of Sound Sea Entertainment, I welcome you to join us. Yang Changlin smiled and extended his hand, his eyes looking straight at Xia Shiyao. Hello, I'm Xia Shiyao. Xia Shiyao's voice was soft and gentle. She said softly. She was also looking at this imperial sister. The aura on this imperial sister made her envious yet. The voice was unexpectedly good. The people were also unexpectedly clean and pure. Such a woman, how was she abducted by Gu Xingyi that then in the past? The imperial sister thought in her mind, and there was a hint of complexity in her eyes. It is also. Such a person would have the vision to pick up Gu Xingyi, who was useless at that time, right? And these two are? The imperial sister was the first to take the rare step of averting her gaze, and her sights turned to Dorothy and Sister Yun. Dorothy, my assistant, and this is Sister Yun, my agent. Xia Shiyao earnestly replied back. This imperial sister in front of her was very polite to her, but there was something strange about her reaction. Xia Shiyao tilted her head in some confusion, then as if she suddenly thought of something, her eyes dimmed a bit. It's a self-contained class. But that's good, it saves time. Yang Changlin nodded his head with Tao Lele and Yun respectively before turning his face back again. Then let me show you around the place. After all, you'll be working here for the next 2 years. The sooner you familiarize yourselves with it the better, and after the tour I'll take you to the artist's apartment. Good. Thanks. Xia Shiyao nodded her head and thanked her. Several people followed Yang Changlin into the building. Along the way, Tao Lele was simply shocked. This place was far too luxurious than the Tianmei entertainment branch there in Jiangcheng. And anytime you see celebrities who are constantly on the hot seat. This would not be comparable to the Tianmei branch. You know, over in Jiangcheng, a second-tier singer, Lu Qian, was able to reign supreme. Yang Changlin took them up to the 11th floor in the elevator and enthusiastically introduced them. This floor is all recording studios, with all kinds of professional equipment inside. Saying that, he pushed open an unused recording studio to show Xia Shiyao and the girls. The floors we use for singers are 3 main levels. The 11th floor is all recording studios, and below that we go to the 12th floor, where the singers' lounges are, and generally they stay in the lounges, whether they're working on a song or receiving announcements, and each of the rooms is an exclusive, personal room. Coming out of the recording studio, Yang Changlin brought Xia Shiyao all the way to the 12th floor again, during which there were many people who greeted Yang Changlin, all of them with a strange look of flattery on their faces. Xia Shiyao was quite curious. They clearly had jealousy in their eyes when they saw themselves. She didn't understand. Wasn't Yang Changlin the Vice Minister of Human Resources? Why was everyone looking at her with such eyes? And what made Xia Shiyao even more strange was that she also saw a balding middle-aged man with the sign of the Minister of Human Resources, actively stopping to greet young Changlin, and even greeted himself. Xia Shiyao was somewhat flattered and returned. This minister called Zhang Chao was so good-tempered that he was even so polite to himself. You know, when you're at the Tianmei branch, whatever leaders there are, they all look like they have their noses in the air when they see people. At this time, Yang Changlin stopped when she was at the end of the corridor. She pointed to the lounge in front of her and said to Xia Shiyao, "This will be your exclusive lounge from now on. Usually there's no announcements in the company, and you can stay here all the time to rest when you're not busy." Xia Shiyao looked up and saw that the door to this lounge room was tightly closed, with a combination lock planted on it, and her name was indeed written on the doorplate. Yang Changlin introduced Xia Shiyao while losing the password. These combination locks all have an initial code of 6 sixes. After that you just change the code. Well, come and see your lounge. The door to the room was opened and the group entered the room. Dorothy was the first to wow. The lounge was so big and lavishly decorated. The huge floor-to-ceiling windows provide a complete view of the bustling downtown of Magic City. The light gray curtains are tucked away on both sides and can be lowered at any time, and the fluffy, oversized sofa has no problem with 3 Dorothys sleeping on it. TV, refrigerator, air conditioning are all available. The main thing, surprisingly, there is a leisure area, there is a tea bar, there are tables. Usually completely relax and entertain here. Other than Sister Yin, who was a bit more calm, even Xia Shiyao was shocked. She had never seen such a luxurious lounge before. Dorothy was even happier and on the verge of fainting, remembering that when she was in Tammy, well, their dogs don't even stay. It's almost like there's no harm without comparison. If it weren't for the presence of outsiders, Dorothy would even want to flop onto the couch and roll around. Yang Changlin looked at the surprised looks of several people and smiled back. Not everyone has this treatment. The top resources, that lounge must also be according to the top. Hear that? Momentarily, Tao Lele felt that Gu Xingyi wasn't so detestable anymore. Until they came out from the lounge, Tao Lele was still immersed in happiness, when the door of the room next to them suddenly opened, and a graceful woman stepped on her high heels and walked out from inside, and she was followed by a small assistant wearing glasses. When the woman saw them come out of the side room, surprise flashed across her face, and then she greeted Yang Changlin. "Sister Yang, you personally brought someone to see the room?" Lena, is this going out?" Yang Changlin returned, his expression flat. "Well, there's a meetup this afternoon and I have to go out, so you get busy, Sister Yang, I'll go first." After Lena finished speaking, she glanced at Xia Shiyao and the others and didn't greet them as she stepped on her high heels and elegantly left. "Let's go too, it's noon. Upstairs are all conference rooms, usually except for company meetings to go, other times basically useless. There I will not take you to visit. Let's go straight to the artist's apartment? You guys drop off your bags and then we'll go to dinner, I'll be the host." Yang Changlin turned back to Xia Shiyao with another smile on his face. Xia Shiyao only felt that she was overzealous. Xia Shiyao's impression of this company today was quite good. It was just a little strange that some people were obviously much warmer to her. Sitting on the elevator, Xia Shiyao suddenly asked softly, "Minister Yang, are you familiar with Gu Xingyi?" After asking this, she clearly saw that the smile on Yang Changlin's face was suddenly stunned for a moment. "Is it really like this?" Xia Shiyao's eyes slightly converged, and more difficult to understand flavors flooded in her heart. "It's okay, I was also the one who received him when he came over, and I've always been the one to follow up on collaborations, so I'm a little more familiar with it," Yang Changlin quickly said. "Aha." Xia Shiyao just gave a soft reply back and stopped talking. A group of people went downstairs. Yang Changlin still drove her gray Mercedes in the front, Xia Shiyao slowly followed behind. As soon as Tao Lele got on the bus, she was mindlessly talking about how nice it was here, until Sister Yin passed her a wink, and it dawned on her that Sister Shioyo seemed to be in a somewhat bad mood. "Obviously, I was quite happy before." "Sister Shioyo, what's wrong with you?" Dorothy asked curiously, picking at the front seat. "Ha? I'm fine, Joy, go ahead." "This is still called nothing?" Tao Lele puzzled and turned her head to seek Sister Yin's help. Sister Yin smiled and didn't say anything. She could tell at a glance that someone was falling in jealousy. "Nai, good boy, Daddy will play a tiger for you, let's not cry anymore, okay?" Gu Xingyi at home is now a head of too big. Since the little Nai Nai woke up, noisy to find his mother, Gu Xingyi good talk, the result of Nai Nai cried even worse. Yesterday, he had assured Xia Shuriyao that he would take care of Nai Nai. As a result, Gu Xingyi now only wanted to say, I can't do it. Obviously when Xia Shuriyao was at home before, little Nai Nai had been clinging to herself and hadn't cried. Now what was going on? In the face of this situation, Gu Xingyi also wanted to cry. He thought he was a king, but now it turned out that he was a bronze. Gu Xingyi bared his teeth and played the tiger, Nai Nai's little pearls still falling down drop by drop. Daddy's bad, hiding mommy, I want mommy. Woo woo. Nana sat on the couch with both feet stomping, looking like she wouldn't rest until she saw her mom today. Gu Xingyi squatted in front of the sofa, scratching his head. What can be done about this? Xia Shuriyao had only just left for half a day, so he couldn't just call her back now, could he? Then she'll laugh at herself. No. Gu Xingyi fell into a struggle, the tiger image on his face instantly collapsing. At this time the cell phone on the table rang. Gu Xingyi glanced at it with a diffuse gaze, and in the next second a light of surprise was abruptly released in his eyes. Here comes the savior. Want to cry? Gu Xingyi hurriedly picked up his cell phone. It was a WeChat from Xia Shuriyao, only 2 simple words. Gu Xingyi sent the message in a hurry. In. That must be in. Aren't you busy? Xia Shuriyao, who had already finished her lunch and was resting in her apartment, looked at the message on her cell phone with a flat expression that seemed to carry so much of a murderous aura. I had lunch with Minister Young today. What? What the hell is this? If you're having dinner with Minister Yang, then just have dinner. Do you still need to tell me? Gu Xingyi scratched his head and didn't care to think too much about it, hurriedly clicking on the video screen call. Xia Shuriyao's cool and pretty face appeared on the screen, and Gu Xingyi let out a fawning laugh as he aimed his cell phone at little Nai Nai. Ahem. Nana misses you. Gu Xingyi. This is what you said about taking care of Nai Nai. Gu Xingyi pretended that he couldn't hear and had an innocent look on his face. I just saw the little guy crying his eyes out, and now that he finally saw his mom and his cell phone, he wiped his tears vigorously with his 2 little hands, aggravated. Mommy, are you being hidden by Daddy? Don't you want Nina anymore? Nana, be good. Mommy is just going out to work and will be home soon. Be good and don't cry. Xia Shuriyao softly coaxed over there. The little guy actually really slowly stopped the tears, hands holding the phone, want to get closer to Xia Shuriyao. Gu Xingyi only felt that her heart had suffered a 10,000-ton blast at the moment. I've been coaxing myself for a long time, making faces again. And pretending to be a tiger. But not as effective as Xia Shuriyao's words? Life is really lonely as snow. Xia Shuriyao coaxed a few more sentences, and little Nai Nai finally stopped crying completely. Gu Xingyi let out a long sigh of relief. Coaxing the little guy, Gu Xingyi faced the phone towards himself, his eyes fluttering like a thief, just not daring to look at Xia Shuriyao. Gu Xingyi, can you really bring up a child well? Xia Shuriyao's questioning words came out from the cell phone. Gu Xingyi was instantly anxious. Who are you looking down on? Today was just an accident. If I had gone out, you'd have been just as bad at coaxing Nana. Gu Xingyi's face was full of defiance. Xia Shuriyao gave him a deep look. Doesn't this person have any points in his heart? That's not true. That's not what she called about. The man is changing the subject. Xia Shuriyao's eyes slightly converged, pretending to be unconcerned as she asked. You know Minister Yang quite well? Not bad. Gu Xingyi casually replied back, not the slightest bit aware that he was already on the brink of death in a frantic tryst. Not bad. Xia Shuriyao looked at Gu Xingyi with ghostly eyes and repeated. Gu Xingyi inexplicably felt a cool air coming. He wrapped his clothes. Strange, the day was so hot. Could it be that he had a cold? Well, it's okay. Are you used to it over there? Not used to it. I have to go now. Xia Shuriyao blankly glanced at him and decided not to pay any more attention to him. The video screen was abruptly hung up, and only then did Gu Xingyi feel, as an afterthought, that she was angry. Inexplicable. Gu Xingyi, who was lying down, put his cell phone down and looked at his daughter, who had stopped crying and had become adorable again. who was shrinking on the sofa, and laughed ha ha. For the next 2 consecutive days, Xia Shiyao called home 1 phone call a day, which saved Gu Xingyi a lot of heartache, but he was surprised that the woman was talking to her daughter every time she called. As soon as she comes to herself, it's like she owes her $8 million, nothing good. Gu Xingyi could only comfort herself that there are always so many days in a month for women. Just bear with it and it will pass. Xia Shiyao was very idle these 2 days. Either in the apartment or in the lounge, the company didn't give her any notices. Sister Yun had been contacting outside lyricists, but unfortunately there was no luck either. This left Dorothy bemoaning the fact that she had nothing to do all day. As of this moment, for example, she was sprawled out on the couch, cuddling with a pillow and complaining. Sister Shiyao, what do you think of Sound Sea Entertainment? Not giving any activities, not even releasing a single comeback news. What's the difference between this and no comeback? Sister Yun was also filled with sadness. In the past 2 days she contacted quite a few lyricists and composers from the previous industry, but once they heard that it was Xia Shiyao who wanted to make a comeback, they all politely refused. After all, no one is stupid. A person who has been out of the circle for more than 2 years, who wants popularity but no popularity, who wants resources but no resources, write a song for her? That's not just a shot in the dark. Just be patient again, there's always a way. Xia Shiyao comforted Tao Lele. She had also been trying to compose a song in the past 2 days, only that she always lacked so much inspiration and had been stuck not being able to do it. It reminded her of Gu Xingyi. If it was him, surely he would be able to make a better song than this, right? Thinking of this, Xia Shiyao couldn't help but feel a little discouraged. She seemed to be inferior to him everywhere now. Should I? You go ask Gu Xingyi? Dorothy suddenly rolled over and sat up at that moment and snapped. Xia Shiyao was a bit hesitant. Her intention of coming out was that she didn't want to rely on him that much. She considered it carefully for a moment before saying, let's wait 2 more days, and if that doesn't work, I'll call him. Okay. Dorothy hugged the pillow in her hands with a slightly dejected expression. She didn't understand that Gu Xingyi guy was Sister Shiyao's husband. Why can't Sister Shiyao just ask him for the song? What Xia Shiyao and the others didn't know was that at this moment, in the conference room of Sound Sea Entertainment, Yang Xian and a group of leaders were having a meeting, and an invitation document was placed in front of them. Yang Xian pressed his hand and the noisy conference room immediately quieted down. As you can see, Star Song Exchange, the most famous star-making program in China, the singers who have made their mark on Star Song Exchange in the past are now basically in the top tier. Now that the column is about to start, we have 2 slots on our side, so let's discuss which 2 we should let go. After Yang Xian finished speaking, the conference room immediately whispered again, and within a short time, a man aged about 30, wearing gold-framed glasses and a gentlemanly manner took the lead in speaking. I think Chang Di can. Sweet-looking, good popularity, good singing, now located in the 2nd tier of singers. If she can get a ranking in the Star Song Festival, there is a high chance of being promoted to the 1st tier. As soon as the man finished speaking, most of the people in the room began to nod in agreement. When Yang Xian saw this, he decided to come down. Then there's one for Chang Di, and 1 more spot. Who do you think is better? As soon as the words left his mouth, he only saw Zhang Chao stand up and spoke. Chairman, I think Xia Shiyao can do it too. Xia Shiyao? Yang Xian suddenly remembered, isn't this the person recommended by that Gu Xingyi kid? She has already come to the company? He was so busy these days that he forgot about it for a while. Zhang Chao had just finished speaking, only to see the svelte man speak again. Minister Zhang, I don't think Xia Shiyao can do it. Even a vegetarian is a bit better than her. Not to mention that she wants popularity but no popularity and no works, but let's just say that she retired from the industry in the first place because she got married. That doesn't give the audience a good impression. Zhang Chao, however, waved his hand without caring and argued with reason. That's exactly why we should pick her all the more. Since she's making a comeback in our company, we need to give her a stage. I've heard Xia Shiyao's previous songs and she sings very well. And Xia Shiyao's looks are not bad at all. Since that's the case, why can't we pick her? The svelte man sniffed and frowned. Minister Zhang. You're in charge of manpower, I'm in charge of operations. Compared to you, I know more about what a singer needs most is popularity. It's not like we're a charity company. Just because she's in the company should we give her the stage? Minister Yoon. You're telling me about popularity? Then you don't know who recommended Xia Shuyao, do you? Dare I ask Minister Yoon? How popular is Xingyao? What if he's the one who writes songs for Xia Shuyao? In the face of Yin Ping's words, Zhang Chao still responded strongly, only his face at the moment was filled with smugness. You little bastard. Fight me. Eat for a few more years. Zhang Chao had never been able to get used to Yin Ping, who on weekdays, on the grounds that he was the Minister of Operations, had always acted as a bully in the company, and would even molest female singers, and quite a few of the young singers that he had recruited had spat at him. Simply Sven scum. Zhang Chao abhorred this. Star. Xingyao? Even Yin Ping was somewhat dumbfounded when he heard Xingyao's name. He dares to say that Starry Yao is not popular? He wouldn't dare. That music video created with Wayne has hundreds of millions of likes, and it's rumored that all of his fans have reached 50 million. Yin Ping held the gold-framed glasses on the bridge of his nose and looked at the smug Zhang Chao with gloomy eyes. Are you just sure that Xingyao will write a song for Xia Shuyao? All right. Don't argue. That I can determine. Yang Xian pressed his hand, signaling them to stop. In that case, the candidates will be Chang Di and Xia Shuyao. Notify down. Seeing the chairman put words in his mouth, Yin Ping could only nod his head unwillingly. There was another candidate in his heart, but unfortunately it was finalized before he had the chance to say anything. The meeting dispersed, and Zhang Chao stroked his smooth head happily. This was the first time he had ever pressed Yin Ping in such a matter. Just be happy. Meanwhile, the same scene was playing out in Shengshi Entertainment, Tianmei Entertainment, and other small entertainment companies. Jiangqing Tianmei Entertainment branch, Sister Yuan ran all the way, panting, to the lounge, where Lu Qian was fiddling with her red nails in front of the makeup table. Lu Qian, good news. This time it's a blessing in disguise. Lu Qian frowned as she painted one of her nails because of Hope's sudden yelling. What good news? With a grumbling tone, Lu Qian wiped the nail polish clean and reapplied it carefully. Hot face meets cold ass. Yuan's excitement is also doused. She looks at Lu Qian, but the more she looks, the more bored she gets. The two of them are now really looking at each other. But in the case that Lu Qian didn't fall, she still had to serve this ancestor. Star Song Exchange. The company decided to put you on it. And it's hired a famous lyricist to write a song for you. This is a way for the company to make up for your loss last time. Stargazer? Lu Qian froze, and her nails were immediately painted again, but this time she didn't care, instead turning her head to look at Sister Yuan to reconfirm. Is that the Star Song Festival where you can be among the top-tier singers if you get a ranking? Yeah. It's hard to believe that there are two more stargazers. Si Yat-sing. This time is your chance. You must grasp it well. I've gone to great lengths to help you get this chance. Seeing Lu Qian get serious, Yuan was slightly relieved, and even her address changed. Ah. Star Song Exchange. I'm gonna be on fire. Lu Qian then reacted, jumping up from her chair, overflowing with joy. She didn't hear Hope taking credit at all, only the news that she was going to be on fire. Shu Xin. There are still 3 days to go before it starts. Let's hold steady. This time it's the famous lyricist Wu Fan who wrote your song. You must sing well. Yuan persuaded Lu Qian not to get too excited. After all, Lu Qian can only share more money herself if she's on fire, and this time, Yuan hopes she'll get a good ranking. Lu Qian, on the other hand, was unimpressed and became even more agitated after hearing about Wu Fan. It's that Wu Fan who is known as the godfather of music. Isn't that stable? What's there to worry about? Me and him, that's a strong combination. Ha ha. Sister Yuan sighed, but on second thought, it's true, although Lu Qian's character is not good, but her singing skills are really online, and there is a song by the godfather of music, Wu Fan, so she will definitely be able to sprint to the top 3 this time. In Magic City, in the artist's apartment, Xia Shuyao received a call from the operations department informing her to prepare for the Star Song Festival in 3 days. After hanging up the phone, Xia Shuyao's entire body was confused. Just now they were still discussing what kind of method should be used to make a comeback, but I didn't expect the company to send a pillow here. Seeing Xia Shiyao's dumbfounded face after answering the phone, Tao Lei couldn't stop herself from asking curiously, Sister Shiyao, who is it? Company operations informed me to participate in the Star Song Festival in 3 days. Stargazer? Star Song Exchange. Really? Sister Shioyo, are you serious? Taluola was just stunned for a moment, and in the next second, she directly climbed up and grabbed Xia Shiyao's shoulders and swayed back and forth, excited to no end. Joy! I'm going to be shaken by you. Xia Shiyao peeled Tao Lei's fat hand away, her face full of disgust. Shioyo, did the company really let you participate in the Star Song Festival? Aha! Operations has just been notified down. Xia Shiyao nodded in confirmation, and Sister Yin couldn't hide the joy on her face. Using the Star Song Exchange as a stage to announce her strong return, this was great. It's just that the priority now is to find a suitable lyricist. I'll get in touch with the lyricists I used to know. Shioyo, you try to write a song yourself again, and in the next 3 days, we must find a good song for the first shot of our comeback. Aha! Xia Shiyao nodded seriously. Dorothy raises her hand. I'll mix and match nutritious meals. Follow the previous way. As soon as possible, I'll nourish Sister Shioyo and mellow her out. The three of them divided the work clearly. Taluola began to pick the ingredients for today's lunch, Sister Yin picked up her cell phone and began to contact the lyricist, Xia Shiyao picked up the song manuscript paper and laid it flat on the table, looking at her brows in thought. And at that moment, our Gu Xingyi was teaching Little Nai Nai the second children's song. Little Nai Nai was very well behaved in the past 2 days, and although this could possibly be the reason why Xia Shiyao called back every day, Gu Xingyi felt that he deserved a great deal of credit as well. At least now, he was fully familiar with the process of coaxing a baby. Little Nai Nai clapped her little hands and accompanied Gu Xingyi, who wore a big gray wolf headdress and pretended to be ferocious, while her mouth sang the budding lyrics. Good little white rabbit, open the door. Open it quickly, I want to come in. Late afternoon. After dinner, after playing all day, Nina couldn't stop sleeping and her little head went down a little bit from time to time. With that, she still steeled herself and insisted on hearing Gu Xingyi tell her a bedtime story before she drifted off to sleep. Gu Xingyi smiled, tucked the quilt over the little one, kissed her forehead, and tiptoed to the living room.